Honestly, bro, the guys who do make the most money, they don't have like fine wives like that to me. You know what I'm
That's
saying? They don't be like,
that's
you
what
ain't
I'm
gonna look at them
saying.
and be like, God damn, oh shit. No,
And
not at all. They're all like, oh damn, bro, that's your girl. Okay, damn, she cool. And keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly,
and
bro, I don't know one guy that married a woman that I would think is like, you will fall out your chair. I'm not sure if those type of women aren't wifey types or what. You know what I'm saying? But usually when I do see, like, say I got, damn, I can't say no names, but let's just say I know a guy that'll, talk to other women, and the other women that he's talking to is finer than his main girl, but he still keeps the main girl, and I'm talking about way finer. You know what I'm saying? But he keeps going back to his foundation. You know what I'm saying?
The men, kind of women that high value men avoid like the plague. First off, high value men are guys that I call Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. We're men based on, we're talking about money. The guys who are basically in the top 10 cities around the country, guys who are making at least $350,000 a year. I mean, let's be real. The kind of men that can afford to put you in a BMW and 3 kids and all that kind of stuff. What are these kind of men? What kind of women these guys avoid? Well, number one, these guys have their pick of the litter. So the women that are on the list are eights, seven, eights, nines in the face, eights, nines, and tens in the body. All right. But here are the women that put up a red flag for these kinds of men. The women who went to college, there are two kinds of women that send up a major red flag with these guys: psychology majors or attorneys. Blake Henry, they avoid these women like the plague. Or they'll kick it with them. And we're talking about who do they avoid? I mean, who they don't marry. That's what it is. They don't marry these women. Psych chicks, lawyers. Psych chicks, lawyers. The next are in the blue collar professions. Police women, cops, or military, any branch. These women are avoided like the plague. Come on, guys. Henry, oh, Henry, let's talk about it. And then on the bohemian side, you didn't go to college. You didn't go necessarily go get a blue collar kind of job. What did you do? You went and they they avoid actresses, singers. Why? Because they all tend to have creatives, bohemians. Why? Because they all tend to have the same positions: nail techs, hairstylists, and massage therapists. So let's run down that list again. College women. You're a psychology chick. You're going to law school. You're gonna be single. Single AF. They might go marry you. You think somebody wanted to go through a divorce with an attorney? Come on, man. You think somebody wants to go home and be psychoanalyzed by a psychology? No. And the other two, the blue collar ones, oh my God, cops and military women. Why? Because the assumption is, one, you got an extreme high body count, because you've been getting it in the backseat of that squad car or on deployment. Look, man, The stories about military women and police and law officers are legendary. Also, it has everything to do with the kind of men you deal with. Women in law enforcement tend to deal with men in law enforcement. That's a different mindset. Women in the military deal with men in the military, a different mindset. Base heads, as some people call them, base heads, the military base heads. Now, and let me tell you what, and how do they look at these women? Military divorced wife with a kid. How can she afford this place to live on? She afforded to live on this because she lived in a military base on Washington. Where do guys go to find women like this? Y'all all get mad when guys talk about pump and dump and this and that because we're talking about women who tend to be cute or pretty. Let's get into it. I have a thing called the eternal sevens. The eternal sevens are the women that tend to be the most problematic. See, the eights, nines, and tens, they get married early on. Eights, nines, and tens get married early on. They get married by age 23, 25. The eights, nines, and tens are the girls that get into VIP for free. They bona fide. They get snapped up like that, especially if they're feminine, beautiful, inspirational, cooperative, submission. Then what ends up happening? A woman who's a 6 or a 7, like a B Simone, no insult intended. She's cute. She ain't fine. She's cute. B Simone, Jill Scott, like that in the face. All of a sudden, when the 8s, 9s, and 10s are gone, the 6s and 7s automatically get all the 8, 9, and 10 shine because the 8s, 9s, and 10s are simply gone. It's not as though those women actually got better. The other women are just gone. And when you get all of that attention, that when you saw your friends who were 8, 9, and 10, and you were 6 or 7, and they're gone, now you're getting 8, 9, and 10 attention. You feel like the woman. And you start to overinflate your SMV, your actual value. So, like a B Simone, no offense, you start to actually feel like you should get a man who's the master of the universe. Especially if you're an attorney or a psych chick, you got a college degree or something like that, advanced degrees, all that other kind of stuff. You can throw advanced degrees, a master's, a PhD, that all goes in with law and psychology. All that stuff, high value men avoid. Because these women overvalue themselves from an educational standpoint, from an income standpoint, and most problematically from a look standpoint. And these Henrys, they're not going to, they know what they're worth. You too much of a headache.
Miss Life Too Short says his ideology is way off, and us women know this. Could be true.
She's single, ain't she?
Come on, don't do that. It may be some gentlemen that may agree on the panel, but
I'm just saying, anybody that I feel like disagree with saying that Mr. Godfather himself ideology is off. Come on, man. Listen. I said what I said. You feel me? Like, I really believe exactly what he said. It's true, and it's being proven to be true. Ain't that why we're here tonight?
I don't know. You said it's true, and it's proven to be true. You want to go ahead and elaborate on that?
As he said, I mean, those are usually the ones that are left behind. The cute ones that don't really get it together. You know what I mean? The ones that don't know how to be submissive and quiet, if you will, like he was saying. I mean, it's true. We see it all the time. Like, it's one of those things where, yeah, the ideology might seem off to some, but the ones that's going to disagree with it are the ones who are a hit dog, a holler. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. If the only way you're going to disagree with him is if that's you he's talking about.
All right, go ahead, Viz.
I had some experience with a lawyer, and that definitely wasn't fun. But I think that I don't know, man. I think you might catch a bad 6 or 7, man, and that'll be the one. To be honest, you might come across some issues with the 8s and 9s and the 10s. Especially if you're an average guy. But I guess even if we're talking about a high value man, we see it all the time with most athletes where their wife, you know what I'm saying, is average at best. You know, they're a solid 6 or 7 and they happy as fuck. So I think that is, I don't think that is a set scale across the board. I think that is just one of those deals of where um you can get a decent 6 or 7, and that motherfucker will treat you like a king, and you can have you a 8 or 9, and that motherfucker is nothing but problems. So I think that it all depends and is situational as well.
All right, go ahead, True.
Yeah, shout out to the Godfather. I happen to agree with his ideology. Bringing up someone like a B Simone. B Simone is very, very average. Very, very average. The only reason why B Simone is somewhat of a namesake is because she has some level of notoriety and she's a little polarizing. But she's an average chick. You go to any kiosk in a mall, you see a B Simone like 100 times, 200 times. So, but I do agree. I think Kevin had a good way of just breaking down the brackets. And reality is, current day, a lot of times women do tend to give their career somewhat of a boost. It's like if they do this, they somehow think that their vagina goes a level up or two. And unfortunately, they're just not talking to enough men. And I personally, I don't know if y'all fellas have seen it, but I've never really ran into any bad lawyers. Most lawyers or administrative women tend to be overweight and basic looking. The baddest of the aesthetics tend to not be career women, in my personal experience. And I digress.
Okay, I know you mentioned about B Simone being average, and I know average can be subjective depending on the person. What do you consider average?
If you can stand in a room as a woman and there's 100 other women and you don't stand out to me, like you don't captivate my attention, you basic, you average. She's average. There's nothing about her that is significant. If I could like date her and then go find another her literally the same day. So in my opinion, that would be considered average. I think, yes, it is subjective, but there are certain women that are hard to repeat, especially from an aesthetic perspective. She's very average.
Okay,
is
so
that
hold on, Viz. So
okay?
I'm still not clear as to what stands out to you.
If we're keeping on pure aesthetics, if I'm in a room and there's 100 other women, you should stand out. Like you should literally, without doing anything, just your looks, your style, your overall aesthetic should be unique, different. If you even look too close to your homegirls, to me, you blend. You're not someone who I would waste my time approaching or put that much energy into. That's how I look at it, though. I may have a biased view. You know, I grew up in Cali. I tell people, like, we just got an abundance of beautiful women out here. So you go to a hot dog on a stick, you see a bad chick. A T-Mobile, you see bad chicks. Well, it is somewhat of, I think, the location. But yeah, that's my perspective.
Okay, so I have an idea, right? But for people that may be watching, I don't think you painted it where they would know for sure if they was a baddie or not.
He explained it real clear. It just don't apply to them, so that's why they arguing.
Well, I mean, if you in a crowded room, right? You most depending on where you at.
I just want him to be a little bit more specific, you know. Now compared to, I just want to be specific. So if somebody was watching, these are the type of women that True is attracted to.
Yeah.
Are you?
Go ahead, Viz.
Are you basing it off of natural beauty or made up? You know, if they're walking into the room.
Natural, as best as possible. But again, I'm speaking from somewhere that's maybe like concentrated and crowded. You know, a club, an event. You know, a mixer. Like, especially she's not the only girl in the building. There's 100 other women. She should vibrate. She should stand out. Just from a few seconds to me. If she just looks like anybody else, like if I see her and then I know tomorrow or next week I'm gonna see somebody that look just like her, she's average to me.
Who would be a 9 or a 10 to you?
A off the top of my head, an Aaliyah would be a 9 or a 10. Maybe a Margot Robbie would be a 9 or a 10. A Nia Long back in the day would be a 9 or a 10. Yeah, I mean, you give me some time to think about it. I can run down a list, but those women to me, they typically stand out.
You don't think B Simone could stand next to Aaliyah?
No. and be considered for approach? No.
Viz, you cut your locks?
Yes, sir.
Right, smooth. You know damn well B Simone can't stand next to no Aaliyah.
Yeah, B Simone look like somebody's just sister.
It's like JL wants us to be harsh. Listen, she a little
annoying
piglet.
little sister.
Yeah, we're gonna just say she a piglet. Her aesthetics. We're basing mostly on aesthetics. The first
we
5
talking about
seconds-
the girl who's the B Simone on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a
the one that
comedian.
cried for Jason Wilson. Why I can't get no man. That's a Vivica
Loud one.
A Vivica
Yeah.
Fox in training wheels.
Shit, she
let's
fine
call
to
her.
me. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Yeah, a lot
I
of stuff
don't
is
know,
fine to
man.
you.
I guess
don't know,
I just heard
man.
her say too much. I don't
All
like
right,
her.
so like I do want to say that B Simone conversation. Let's stick to what the Godfather was saying. I know we'll go down the rabbit hole. So go ahead, Willie. It's on you next.
Yeah. I don't think that he's ever said anything about the group of men that women actually want to date that wasn't categorically true. We get caught up a lot of times trying to say things are objective, but beauty is not subjective. But beauty is not always a subjective thing. There's objectively beautiful people, and the people who don't agree with that aren't objectively beautiful. So of course they're not going to agree with it. I haven't seen any women who disagree with Kevin Samuels that are happily married, or even in the group of women that the men they want for themselves. That's been one of the consistent themes that I've seen with Kevin Samuels' detractors since he's been out. It's never the women that high value men that he, as he describes it, are looking for themselves. It's just the women who are hit dogs hollering because he says that he doesn't. Men don't want women who are combative, masculine, fat, all that other stuff. Those are the women who don't like Kevin Samuels. It's rare, or you'd be hard pressed to find a objectively attractive person that doesn't agree with him.
All right. Go ahead, M. White.
Man, I've been coming to the realization with like how vain I actually am. And yeah, he ain't lied about none of that shit. I mean, he wasn't first the conversation was in regards to a certain type of man, right? He gave the criteria that he listed. A lot of those men fall into like my frat brothers, or people I play basketball with, or people I would know from Soho, or going out clubbing or what have you. And as vain as it seemed, 99.9999999, and that 0.1% is because he knew her before he got on, and he somehow kept that relationship. Those women like look a certain way. It's the reality of the world. The men have gotten themselves to incredible heights, and they have the freedom of income, time, and selection, and tend to be extremely picky. Like my LB that you met at the in-person event, JR, on on the southwest side, or north-south, northwest side. He's in a like a C-suite collective of young black guys. They take them to Israel and all over the place, right? So this everybody girlfriend or wife, more than likely wife, damn near looked identical. It's different shades, like a variation of shades, a variation of heights, and a variation of facial features. But all the women could have been related. It's a very specific look, and I don't see that many men that get women that fall outside of that. And we vain as fuck for it, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, so I think that what he's really referring to is like the women who have roles that typically put them into a masculine frame. So those jobs that he was describing, they're very competitive, and once they get home, sometimes they can't turn that switch off, right? It's tough for them to go back and then treat you like the husband you deserve to be treated. So, like I always say, some of these women are just a nuisance, right? It's not that we fear them. It's not that we're intimidated by them. We just find them to be a nuisance or something that we just don't want to deal with on our day-to-day lives and raise children with, right? Most men are going to want someone feminine, and those men who are considered Henrys, like you said, they have the pick of the litter. I completely agree with that. So all men could get exactly what they want. I don't think there's many men who would actually choose a woman who's masculine unless you like, kind of leaning towards the other side. Men are generally not attracted to masculinity, but most men who aren't in a position to get the woman they want, they settle. A lot of women say they settle, but a lot of men are actually settling when we're talking about dealing with masculine women, combative women, and that's our day to day. And with the environment that we're in right now, it caters to women. The judicial system, it caters to women. Everything that every government issued support, it caters to women more than men. So men are just dealing with it because they have to, just because of their limited options. But I don't think anyone would choose a masculine woman. That would be insane. And as far as like the sevens and all of that, I always say seven is the sweet spot. I've been saying that for a long time. That seven is pretty much the sweet spot before they start becoming aggravating. Now, if you're one of those guys, if you way up there, where you got everything together and you got a bunch of women chasing, you can just pick what you want because the female knows she's likely not going to do better than you. For the most part, you have your outliers, but for the most part, if you women are hypergamous, we know we kind of have to deal with women who might not necessarily be on our level socially, right? But that's what we deal with. Now there's always other situations that could help you with that. Like if you have enough game, you know how to talk to women, you understand women, then you're gonna have an advantage if your game is right. But if you're not a confident guy, if you're not used to dealing with women, then you might run into some serious issues. And by the way, I would say if I was going to rate B Simone, I say I think she like a 7, which to me is a couple ticks above average. She's not a super baddie, but I think she's a little more than average, at least for here. I live in Jersey. It's all right over here, so she's not what you see on a regular basis. And if I were like on the street single, I'd probably holler.
Hey Trev, what
That's until she started talking.
Trev, would you Aaliyah and B Simone standing next to each other? Who you going for?
What do I need them for? What's the purpose of them? What's the purpose?
Oh, just to talk to them. You trying to pull one of them?
You saying talk to him, but that's never my goal. My goal is either wifey or to take down. So, like, which one we talking?
Oh man, you complicating it.
No, bro, it's very simple. That's it. Just answer one of those, and I'll tell you because it's one for each. If you're talking about like to have as like a girlfriend or some long term, then you would certainly choose Aaliyah. But for the takedown, I might run with B Simone.
Okay.
But see, you just did it. Like, if you gonna park somewhere, you're gonna park somewhere that is perceived higher value, I would assume.
When you say
B Simone is slotted, basically you said she casual, like it ain't nothing you tripping on.
No. What I'm saying is that just her, like her personality and all of that, she wouldn't be good long term, but she'd be good for the night.
Well, so without knowing her personality,
without knowing,
you just see her, you know what I'm saying? To me, when you say that, to me it sounds like B Simone is better, but she's not wife material. That's what
No,
I
see,
hear when you say that.
well, it's one of them things, right? I size a woman up. I'm not just gonna run down on a female and I can't gauge anything, right? There's never a random. I already know. I'm profiling you before I even try to talk to you. Before I approach a woman, I'm sizing you up. So it's never random. It's never blind. Sure, you could have surprises, but usually not, right? So I'm saying for her, like you could kind of tell by her demeanor, she's not like one of those soft joints or whatever. You could tell off rip as soon as she opened her mouth. You know what I'm saying? We and all of us have the advantage of at least talking to a woman before we lie with them. So it's just one of them things where, all right, I know what she's talking about. Yeah, this about to be tonight or whatever.
I can understand what you're saying, Viz, because I think most men don't even date fine women like that. Or haven't even had fine women. So I think if they do see like a B Simone, they would probably say that most of them will probably say it's a baddie. It's only a select few. On the internet, it sounds cool, but in reality, if she was at a party, a whole lot of them guys would be going. Like if they didn't know her, yeah. If she wasn't
on her heels,
yeah. Like if she wasn't like internet, if she didn't have an internet personality.
So what number would you give it, JR?
I would say she about it like a 6 or 7, but that's with the makeup. So
JR, would you mess
but
with
we
her
also
without?
got to factor in too when women pull off the makeup, it's a whole different game.
Would you mess with her without makeup, JR?
I had to see it. I mean, got to see it without makeup. Like I'm more of a personality.
yeah,
I'm more of a
I was just
personality type.
looking. I was just looking at a picture of her with no makeup, and I mean, I would say she's still halfway decent. You know, it's the girl next door.
What number? What number? What number?
It ain't. I got it on manual.
I mean, I'm
Focus.
gonna be honest.
I'll say she a 7 for sure.
Yeah.
Girl next door, 7.
Can't use 7.
I mean, but you guys got to think about it. Most women. I mean, there are some bad women, but most women, when they pull their makeup off, they are average.
For
They
sure.
are average.
For
like
sure.
You may not want to admit it. It's not too many women. I'm not saying compare, but on every day you just be surprised when they take their makeup off. They just look different. But with their makeup, they look like glamorous.
Even supermodels. If you see a supermodel with no makeup on, you know what I'm saying? She damn near look average. But if she dialed up, then hell yeah, she a dime piece all day.
You gotta check some of these Ethiopian joints out, bro.
You say Ethiopians?
I don't know. I prefer to check them. I prefer to judge them with no makeup. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get a real accurate depiction on what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no question.
That's what you're gonna wake up next to.
I know some where I know some 8s, 9s, and 10s. You be like, damn, with no makeup on, and then you add the personality in there. That helps. You know what I'm saying? But like, because you could be an 8, a 9, and your personality is trash and take you to a 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? So. All right, maybe like a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was just talking about just strictly off looks. That personality just add a whole different layer. Let me get Sherman now, man, because I know we got to get this show rolling. Sherman, what are your thoughts about what KS said? How you feeling about it?
Honestly, man, I don't even know what he was talking about. I'm gonna keep it real. I was trying to follow him, but I don't know. I just couldn't follow what he was saying. So he could just skip me.
Well, let me ask you this. I can summarize it for you, Sean.
Yeah.
In your opinion, do the men you know that's getting to the bag, 300K or more, that are single at 30, do they have criteria for the women they want?
Yeah, I feel like every man will have criteria for the type of woman that they want.
For that niche group of men, what's the criteria from what you've noticed in your experience?
Honestly, man, I would not know. I wouldn't know because at the end of the day, because I'm looking at you said what?
Don't you live in LA?
Yeah, but then it's like I don't really see. I feel like we in a different generation because I don't really see a lot of men trying to settle down. You know what I'm saying? It's like if they have that money and they have girls, and now they got these apps You know what I'm saying? These dating apps where they can see a different girl every week. They could go on a date every week and bang a girl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, are y'all actually out here proactively trying to find a woman to settle down with? And most
Do
of the
you
time
have
the answer, you said what?
do you know men that are married that make that amount of money?
Yeah. But they found their woman like a long time ago, like in their 20s. You know what I'm
Okay, and do you
saying?
know? Can you give me the average rating of those women versus the women the men who got married
I
later
mean, the
on?
ones,
Off
honestly,
second.
bro, the guys who do make the most money, they don't have like fine wives like that to me. You know what I'm
That's
saying? They don't be like,
that's
you
what
ain't
I'm
gonna look at them and
saying.
be like, God damn, oh shit. No,
And
not at all. They're all like, oh damn, bro, that's your girl. Okay, damn, she cool. And keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly,
and
bro, I don't know one guy that married a woman that I would think is like, you will fall out your chair. I'm not sure if those type of women aren't wifey types or what. You know what I'm saying? But usually when I do see, like, say I got, damn, I can't say no names. But let's just say I know a guy that'll, talk to other women, and the other women that he's talking to is finer than his main girl. But he still keeps the main girl. And I'm talking about way finer. You know what I'm saying? But he keeps going back to his foundation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really kind of tricky.
Did he get her before he?
Yeah, yeah, way
Yeah,
before he
that's like
got
how
cracking and
DMX
stuff
did it,
like that.
bro. That's like
You know what
So
I'm
that's a
saying?
lot
so
of
But
that's
has somebody that was with you from the ground up that you somehow maintain that relationship with will look different than somebody who you meet at a
no,
different level.
it's not even that. It's more so the emotional connection that you share with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like this: like if I'm making $250,000 a year, 300,000, and I'm dating the women that I'm dating, they have an objective. No, their objective is to okay, I'm gonna try to trap this dude, and you can kind of see it. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really want you for you; they want you for where you live at, for the type of car you drive. You know what I'm saying? For the lifestyle that you can provide them, because that's what you're showcasing to them to get them. Like you online, like yeah, man, I'm in the bins. You showing your car on your story. You doing all this stunting. Then you're gonna be like, damn, bro, all she wanted me for was my money. Duh, that's what you showing. That's your value. But that is the problem in today's society, bro. It's like if you don't find a woman between like 25 and 30, you damn near assed out. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be bad. For one, you're gonna date somebody that lived almost, two adult lives and who has history that you don't even know about, that you meet from scratch. You know what I'm saying? That you gotta worry about in the back of your mind. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things that gets to me. I'm just like, damn, man, imagine, being single at 40 and you trying to date, different women that's been living adult lives for 22 years or whatever. Shit, you don't even know if they did porn or what. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they was on while you wasn't with them. So if you don't find somebody where it's like they're a young adult and you could grow with them, it's gonna be bad for you. Me and Law tell our our young bulls in our family that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like the time is now. Because when you get older, it's like a funnel. It gets slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. You know what I'm saying? Your availability of women. Because a good woman is gonna be taken in her 20s for
Let's get
sure.
her younger. Some new
Yeah,
one
or
every
you
day.
yeah, you could do that
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
You know what I'm saying?
The market open every day.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, I'm not to say that like women are damaged goods or anything. It's just a law of numbers. You know what I mean? Like the older you get, the smaller, well, the shorter your availabilities are. You know what I mean?